Welcome to Gray Overload. I'm Anthony, and I want to take a little time to talk about just upgrading how your hard drive to an SSD can make a major difference in your computer. I have upgraded a couple computers to SSDs in the last week, and in doing so, it kind of made me, hey, this is a good upgrade path, something that should be talked about, especially in a time when we are seeing a lot of prices go through the roofs on other computer parts. So if you're looking to buy a new computer or even upgrade on some other components, it can get quite expensive quite quickly. And if you have an older computer, an SSD is a cheap upgrade that you can do to gain out some more speed if you're on a hard drive. And that's one thing that if you're on a hard drive as your main drive, that I would seriously look at. I've moved to purely SSDs in my gaming rig. I only have hard drives in my, storage, computer that I store all my data on. So, if I have games, etc., they're all in SSDs now, and that just helps out getting into playing the game faster, etc. Now, these computers I've actually upgraded in the past week were, an older Dell, and then one was also an HP 2-core 4-thread, and they just have a whole bunch of new life in them. And I usually give somebody two options when I'm going to do this. If they want to go forward, I explain the benefits about going to SSD. One, you're going to be faster, and that's usually the biggest one that they really, really like, because usually they're starting to complain is the computer's starting to slow down, and so I like that. Now, I also say that you don't have to worry about a moving failure. Yes, SSDs do have failures. I always mention that, but overall, you don't have the moving parts that could and break as well. And also in that option, I say we will make sure that you have a backup scenario that we're able to take that data and make sure that it is moved up. And I kind of include that in the plan because if somebody doesn't have that already set up, I want to make sure that as I'm helping them out, they have a pathway forward just in case, you know, let's say that even their hard drive fails. They have a path to be able to get all that data back quickly and effectively. And usually it's as basic as a cloud service. Right now, if they want to go full, backup and do Backblaze or something like a backup software like that, I'll do that as well. But the easiest for a lot of people is just putting it up in a cloud and then go from there. Here I not only do I use the cloud, I also have Backblaze, etc. But I'm back. Other backup software will work out well too. But I understand that if you're on a limited budget or you aren't used to it yet, you may want to just stick and learn that whole OneDrive, Google Drive concept first, and then move on from there. So I give them that option as the benefits, and then I give them two options of what I would do as soon as they say, hey, yeah, I want to move to an SSD. I recommend an SSD, and I'm trying out Team Group. I've tried out many, many different SSDs, from Crucial to Team Group to Samsung. So just a variety, and I've had success with, especially Samsung and Crucial. I just got a Team Group one, so I'm just testing that out. And if you guys have ones that you recommend, post those in comments below. But I've been recommending Samsung 870 EVO, which is a very nice drive overall. And what I do is say, hey, there's two options here. We can clone your drive, or we can go forward and we can start fresh with Windows and install it fresh. Now, I kind of push for the second option, and one reason is that I want them starting off on the good foot. I don't want to bring anything over that may have been also slowing down the computer. So I will set up, the reason why I want that backup setup is that I will progress and move everything for them forward. So their software, their data that may have not came over, and there that wasn't backed up into the cloud or back in the backup software, and I will do that so that it's all over so that they can get up and running as fast as possible. And the really cool thing about a clone or starting fresh is that you always have that hard drive as a spare. So that old spinning rust is there so that you can always swap it back in if they ever have an issue um, in during this process and you have to come back, there was another unforeseen circumstance, you always have a backup. And that's one thing I also say too is that, this other drive is going to be a backup. So you don't have to, we're not going to just, leave you hanging dry. We will have all the data on a disk, and at least until you verify it's all over there, we will have that. So that's one reason why I start fresh. And um, it usually only takes me about an hour, depending upon how old the computer is, to swap out the drive, reinstall Windows, and get it all up to date, transfer all the data over, etc. And if they're already using like a Google Drive or OneDrive, it's very simple to do, and it's a great process for them to even get into that, put their foot into there. Because my whole thing is let's say the computer were to go down for unforeseen sort of circumstances, and you can't get the data off. We don't want to really have to pay to get the, go to a data recovery place, because that's also another incurring cost. So let's just put the work in up front so that we don't have to do that, and you can get your computer up and running again. Let's say you have to buy a new computer, you get the computer in, all of a sudden you log in, you download your sync software, it's up and off the races, you just installed all their software you need, and you're good to go. So that's kind of my viewpoint on this. Let me know if you have a different viewpoint on it as well. But that little upgrade here of that hard drive can make a big benefit, especially if you're tight on a budget and you're looking to get extra life out of your computer. It's one thing I've been doing for a lot of different people over the years. I know it's a little late in the game, but there's still some hard drives out there. I mean, they still sell computers with hard drives for some reason, in certain dollar amounts, and that's been going away. But people hold on to their computers a little bit longer, and so this is a good opportunity for them to, if they want to get longer life and they don't want to spend the money, just upgrade it. So that's kind of how I view this. And let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I can help answer them. I've used different cloning softwares too in the past. I have these little, I've tried these Apricorn, I think that's what it's called. Um, yeah, there you go. And they're just a USB to, your SATA and power, and they've worked great. I've also used the Samsung software, so there's many different options out there to use, but I feel like this is a great opportunity for people to, if they want to and they feel like their computer's getting slow, let's upgrade it just to an SSD. Let's get them that, a little bit faster speed off that spinning disk, and be able to enjoy the computer for a little bit longer and get some longer life out of it. I'm a big fan of continually to not have so much electronic waste, and this is one way for that as well. Is make sure that we're using the computer as long as possible. Giving it to somebody else that, to me, if I have something older, I always like to give it to somebody else to try to hopefully, bless them with something that they may not be able to afford or have, so that they can get, more. One, I can get more life out of my equipment that I don't need anymore, and they can also get some equipment that they will be able to use. So with that, I can also see, some stuff further down the line of games and everything else requiring more SSD and requiring higher demand of faster storage going further. But time will tell to see when that actually takes off. That we could still be a couple years away from that with the consoles, but I just really like the fact that you can get the longer life out of these machines. You can help somebody out to be able to do it, and at a pretty low cost here with some of the SSD prices, especially now that we're getting bigger and bigger sizes out. And maybe one day we'll have super huge drives, 20, 30 terabytes SSDs and 2.5 inches, or even an M.2 slot that we're able to just keep all our storage on as well for a pretty reasonable price. But right now, the SATA drives have came down quite a bit in price. So have the 1 terabyte and under M.2 NVMe drives as well. So with that, let me know what your comments are in the comments below. And if you have any questions, also leave them down there below, and I'll be sure to check them out as well. But until next time, I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for taking the time to help Grow Everload and helping this channel grow. I really appreciate it. Until next time, God bless, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.